Yeah, look, it makes total sense. It's a very similar journey to my own. It was 2012. I probably saw it in 2011. 2012, I started properly digging into it. And I come through the lens of almost losing the European banking system after we'd almost lost the global banking system in 2008. And I realized very quickly that Bitcoin itself was interesting, but the blockchain itself was going to offer a whole lot of solutions to some of the huge problems in the world. And one of the big problems was ownership. And
Technology and cryptocurrency stand out today as the only two sectors experiencing genuinely exponential growth. Ignoring this undeniable reality could mean missing out on one of the most profound transformations in wealth creation the modern world has ever witnessed. This is a central argument put forth by Raoul Pal, CEO of Real Vision, who warns that the traditional financial system, built upon ever-increasing debt, aging demographics, and sluggish productivity, is beginning to crumble under the weight of its own inefficiencies. In stark contrast, a new economic paradigm is emerging, powered by artificial intelligence, blockchain technology, and the compounding strength of global network effects. This transition, Pal explains, marks one of the most significant macroeconomic turning points in human history. The opportunity to capitalize on it, however, is shrinking rapidly. Any delay or hesitation could mean missing what he calls the most important investment window of our generation. Pal stresses that this transformation is unfolding at a pace far beyond what most people can grasp. He not only identifies the structural forces driving this acceleration, but also outlines the critical strategic steps investors must take now, before this extraordinary opportunity vanishes altogether.
Good friends with Emil Woods and Chad Cascarilla, and they got me across the line very quickly in terms of this. And then, okay, well, what you can start to put on the blockchain, what's relevant and what's not, as you said, that journey was a journey where I realized, like you, that it was okay that in 2014, 15, there weren't that many applications because we knew they'd come. It was just a matter of when. And yeah, I think your journey is super interesting because it's your mixed background gives you, that it gives you a massive advantage in this space. I was not a technologist. I had to get up some of the curve of that. I was a finance guy, but you having that mixed background must have been a huge help. So 18 months ago, NFTs, which we all knew about, any of us have been around the space for a while, we knew about, but it kind of came in a different format than many of us first thought. I kind of thought it might be through property or some sort of other form of IP, but it didn't. Talk me through that realization when the world suddenly changed again.
Well, as with Bitcoin, but even more so, NFTs was a two-part process. The 2017, oh yeah, look at this, oh, that's interesting. Okay, anyway, this is goofy. Let's get back to the real work of, I don't know, making smart contracts or whatever we're doing, right? Like this was
a distraction.
I didn't get it the first time.
Yeah.
All right. It goes on just like Bitcoin 11 goes on the L list, NFTs 2017 goes on the L list. I was like, oh, that's cool. Because I wasn't like opposed to it. I wasn't a right-click save as. I was like, well, okay, that's fun, but not particularly important, right? So something like that was the first go around. And it wasn't until, I can't tell you exactly what the trigger was. I don't remember now, but I remember towards the end of 2020, I started getting that spidey sense. And I started harassing all of my crypto friends, including some who are just like true crypto OGs. And I'm like, I think there's something important here. And they're like, no, it's stupid, right? It's cartoons, right? Like it's, let's look at this new blockchain that does whatever, right? And I'm saying, okay. And then I'd wait a month. And then it was still nagging at me. And then finally I said, I need to spend time on it. Like, it's bothering me. And I thought, let's go buy some NFTs. And the very first NFT I bought was like 0.01 ETH or something, right? It was just like, let me just buy the cheapest NFT I can buy on OpenSea and see how I feel. I was like, oh, that was interesting. That was fun. Let me buy another one. Well, okay, that feels pretty good. Let me buy another one. And then I started bringing
Hold on, before we
my
go on,
friends.
what the hell were you buying and why did it appear?
By 2016, cryptocurrencies had begun to emerge as a financial lifeline for younger generations seeking stability in an increasingly uncertain economic world. While older demographics struggled to adapt to a rapidly transforming financial landscape, younger individuals, weighed down by inflation, stagnant wages, and shrinking economic opportunities, turned to digital alternatives as a form of empowerment and protection. By 2020, the concept of an exponential age had entered mainstream awareness, characterized by a surge in technological progress, particularly breakthroughs in artificial intelligence such as ChatGPT. This accelerating pace of innovation is now propelling the global economy toward a pivotal turning point, an economic singularity anticipated around 2030. At that stage, traditional financial systems may no longer operate efficiently, as aging populations, diminishing productivity, and unsustainable debt erode the power of central banks, interest rate mechanisms, and conventional policy tools. A complete redefinition of wealth is already in motion. This transformation will not merely shift financial power from one group to another, it will fundamentally alter the very essence of what wealth represents. Those who resist or fail to adapt risk being left behind in the old paradigm, while those who understand and embrace the transition stand to become the true architects of a new financial and technological era.
Random.
And why did it appeal to you?
Random. I literally said, like, okay, like, I learn by doing. That's my, I have a gut, and then I don't believe people can understand anything without doing it, right? And I think one of the huge gaps we have with traditional system people and with regulators, they've never done it. And so like their image of what Bitcoin is, their image of what Web3 is, their image of what NFTs are, is this wholly distorted image. So I didn't know if I wanted to invest in NFTs, and I just wanted to like spend some time. So I just went up. I don't even remember what the first one was. Like it was some pixelated character, because of course it was, but it was the furthest thing from an important collection, right? Like it was not, let's go buy Grail NFTs. It's, let me play around in OpenSea for a bit. And what started happening was the following. And this was a very new experience. As I would grab a friend of mine, a family member, and would say, hey, let's try this. Pick something, I'll buy it. Here, set up a MetaMask. I'll send it to you and send it back to me. What I realized within a month, this is crypto's consumer moment. It is a well-known truism in technology that technologies become consumerized when you stop talking about the technology. I had spent 8 years trying to convince people of the joys of decentralization. The whole time, I've had this thought in the back of my mind of like, I know this is wrong. I can't tell you why it's wrong, but I know it's wrong because I'm talking about the Byzantine general's problem. Yeah. I know it's wrong because we're discussing the differences between how Solana reaches consensus and how Ethereum reaches consensus. And of course, I personally find it very interesting, but this is nerd stuff, right? This is not consumer stuff.
No.
Though one of the ways I think about it, Instagram uses, I'm sure, Python and machine learning and cloud computing and routers and servers, but no one in the history of the world said, hey, you should use this cool Instagram app. It uses Python, right? That's not how consumer tech works.
No.
And what I noticed for the very first time in crypto, here we were absolutely using decentralized rails, true crypto, Ethereum, right? Web3 applications. And we weren't talking about the tech except for the basic kind of ramp up curve to like, here's how MetaMask works, right? Once we got past that, it was, oh, this one's cool. That's one cool. I want the one with a silly hat. I want this photograph. Oh.
We are humans after all.
Correct. But that's tech in and of itself isn't interesting, right? Tech is interesting to meet human needs, right? And so I was like, oh, wow. This is it. This is The positive way to say it, the classic way to say it, is this is how crypto consumerizes. The kind of inside baseball way to think about it, this could be a Trojan horse for decentralized rails, right? We know this 8 years in, no one cares about decentralization per se. And I say this, and it's a harsh statement, but it's true.
It's true.
I think if you went and checked, even the large majority of Twitter/crypto/Silicon Valley thought leaders on decentralization have the majority of their crypto in like Coinbase custody or something, right? Which means like everyone's LARPing, right? Everyone. You can't say I care about decentralization and say, oh, I am the third-party custodian. The threat model is exactly the same as being at JP Morgan. There's no difference.
No.
That is Bitcoin as a financial investment, not Bitcoin as a